The time is 6 p.m. The Pelican Rapids City Council meeting of 13 January 2026 is called to order. I'd ask those in our council chambers if you would please sign the roster before you leave this evening and ask everyone to please put their cell phones on vibrate. Our first council meeting of the year, and Happy New Year. 1A is Mayor and Council Members' Oath of Office. Danielle?
Oath of Office, I have nobody new.
Okay, I saw it on there.
Sorry.
Okay,
Shouldn't have been
yeah,
on
that's
there.
right, okay. That is fine. Roll call of members.
Councilmember Steve Strand.
Here.
Councilmember Shelley Gutmringer.
Here.
Councilmember Kurt Markgraf.
Here.
Councilmember Don Perrin.
Here.
And Mayor Brent Frazier.
Here, I want to welcome each and every one of you here in our council chambers, those joining us by Zoom. Also remember our city council meetings on the Pelican Rapids YouTube channel and also on channel 14 on Wednesday evenings. Just a couple announcements for the next couple weeks. Monday, January 19th is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and City Hall offices will be closed. Our next city council meeting is slated for Tuesday, January 27th, 6 p.m. here in the city council chambers. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Hearing none, if we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2 is citizens' comments. I see no one in the audience for citizens' comments this evening. Item number 3 is agenda additions or deletions. Any additions or deletions? Any additions or deletions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the council agenda as written?
So moved.
Second? Second. Motion second. Discussion? Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 4 is approval of consent agenda, which I will read. Item number 4 is approval of minutes of council meeting from December 9th, 2025, which is in the packet. 4B is approval of accounts payable listing from December 30th, 2025 and January 13th, 2026, which is in the packet. Item 4C is appointing clerk treasurer Danielle Harthun. Item 4D is designate official newspaper, Pelican Rapids Press. 4E is designate official depositories, Minnesota National Bank and Bell Bank. Item 4F is appointing city attorney, Kennedy and Graven. Item 4G is approve expenses to fire, police, liquor store clerks, mayors, regional meetings and trainings. 4H is approve payment of administrator and clerk treasurer bonds. 4I is approved payment of liquor store bond. 4J is Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities membership renewal. 4K is Minnesota Council of Airports membership renewal. 4L is Lakes Country Service Cooperative membership renewal. And 4M is Otter Tail Lakes Country Association Community Collaborative annual membership. And 4N is 2026 mileage of 72.5 cents a mile. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item 5 is 2026 service line replacement, and we have Mr. Bob Schliemann here from Apex Engineering. He's talked about this topic before, but he has some more information this evening. Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council, and staff. Yeah, I'm here tonight to talk about the lead service line replacement. This has been going on for a couple of years already. So recently, the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, made a change to their lead and copper rule. And what they're focusing on is they want every public water supplier in the nation to do an inventory, first of all water service lines to make sure there's no lead in them. So what we've done over the past couple of years, I think it started in 2024, we actually continued it here in 2025, where we made an attempt to do an inventory of the city's water services, every water service in town. There's two components to those water service. Typically, there's the public side, what we call it, is from the main to the curb stop. And then the second component is what we call the private side, which is the curb stop to the meter. And we attempted to do an inventory of each service, both components of it. Through that process, we sent out mailers, actually went door to door, trying to get into people's homes, get information on, what kind of service piping came through their, basement wall, the basement floor to their meter. What we've basically found is the city right now has approximately 846 water services. We've identified at least 33 of them are lead. There's another 57 that have been identified as galvanized. Now, please realize galvanized is a rigid material, and galvanized is also considered to be lead, because the theory there is on one end or the other to connect, there has to be something that's non-rigid to connect into either the meter or into the curb stop, main, whatever it is. So those are considered to be lead as well. So if they're lead or galvanized, they're considered to be lead and need to be replaced. And then we still have a number of unknowns out there as well. There's a lot of water services in the city of Pelican Rapids that are within your right-of-way that we don't have documentation on them. We don't even know what the material is. And then on the private side, we just had a number of people that we could not get into their homes, did not answer their surveys. We just don't have information on those either. So that's a rundown basically of where we are today. The Minnesota Department of Health and the EPA is indicating that by 2033, they want all water services to be non-lead and non-galvanized. That's the goal. So we've got a few years yet, but as we all know, time goes fast. That'll be here before we know it. So that is the actual goal. The good thing is there is a funding program for these. So the Public Facilities Authority, which is the same program that the city received funding for the 59 and 108 projects for your underground utilities, they have money for replacing lead and galvanized service lines. So what we did is we applied for money on behalf of the city last year. We got you on the necessary lists. We submitted the necessary documentation. And as part of the 2026, it's called the Intended Use Plan, which that list contains projects that are anticipated to move forward in 2026 here. You've been allocated $1 million just for replacing lead service lines. Please realize that's the maximum amount that you can be eligible for. They limited the communities to a maximum of $1 million. So we applied for the full $1 million on behalf of the city of Pelican Rapids. We have in here that the estimated number of services that can be replaced with that $1 million is 20 to 25 services. That's probably a little bit low. I think we're being conservative, hopefully. But please realize there's a lot of unknowns that we're working with here. One thing that we're concerned about is who's going to complete all this work. There's a lot of communities across the nation, not only the state of Minnesota, but across the nation that are going to be doing this. There's kind of it's hard to get certain people right now to come and do work for you, whether it's a plumber or an excavator. All of a sudden, all this work hits the market. Who's going to be doing this? So that's going to affect price, availability, things like that. So there's a lot of unknowns, but we put 20 to 25 to be determined. Design has to be done of these improvements by March 31st. We have to submit documentation to the Department of Health. We have to complete a funding application by March 31st and submit that to the PFA. So there's a lot of work that has to be done by the end of March, which is going to be here before we know it. So what we've done is we've included a task order agreement to complete engineering services related to the replacement of these services. One thing that we're going to probably start with here is determining the priorities as far as these services go. We're going to focus on schools, daycares, things like that. And then beyond that, we're going to also try to identify what other properties and try to rate those as far as importance goes. We're thinking that as far as with the number that we've got in Pelican Rapids, it's probably going to be easiest to invite these folks in and just have a public hearing and just talk about this process with all of them at the same time and notify them. There's an agreement that has to be done. A lot of these services, it's a little bit unique because typically when we do work on behalf of a public entity, it's within your right-of-way. Well, here we have to replace from the main all the way to the meter inside the building, whether it's a home, business, whatever it is. So we're going to be working on private property. So what we've done is we put together a draft agreement on behalf of the city Got it to Lance. Lance has already run it by your city attorney. We got some comments back, so we think we've got a pretty good agreement in place that we can give to property owners. And we may have property owners that say, no, we don't agree to it. We don't want you doing this work on our private property. What we're being told right now by the EPA and Department of Health, if that takes place, we make a note, put it in the file, and there's really nothing else that we can probably do at that point. So the thing is, though, again, I mean, there is going to be, what we're being told is all of this is going to be paid for through grant or loan forgiveness. So at this time, if they want to do it, they would likely get it done for free. So hopefully people take advantage of that. I guess with that, I think I've kind of summarized everything that I wanted to. Again, the goal here is to get the application, the plans and specifications done by the end of March, and hopefully go out and advertise for construction bids this coming, hopefully late spring, early summer is our goal. Construction, hopefully a lot of it we can get done in 2026. We may have to go into 2027. Again, we don't know. It's going to depend on the availability of contractors in the area to do this work. So we've also talked about maybe even going to some of the communities that have a lot of them and maybe inviting contractors in and just talking about what we've got going on here, informing them of like wage rate requirements, Buy America, Build America requirements that come along with the funding, things like that maybe they're not used to working with or aren't aware of, and just again, trying to get all hands on deck here to get a lot of this work done, because our concern is the availability of people wanting to do this work. So, are there any questions regarding the programs, the process, the requirements, what we've been up to, where we go from here?
Any questions from the council? I have a few. Brian.
Sure.
How are we gonna, if we know it's copper coming into their house, but we don't know what the public side of the public side of it is, how are we gonna identify that?
So very, very good question. So we had a meeting this morning with the Department of Health, and we talked over that scenario specifically, because that is a scenario that we have in a lot of instances.
Correct.
We know what that service line is from the curb stop to the meter. We don't know what it is from the main to the curb stop. So by replacing that service from the curb stop to the meter, we're gonna have to dig down at the curb stop to connect to it. When we do that, hopefully we can dig on the public side and find out what it is.
So they don't have a plan to pothole these,
They don't.
they're just gonna,
So we don't know exactly, Brian, what our plan is there, but what we've discussed recently is we think the best approach there is we're gonna assume that we're gonna replace the service from the main to the meter.
okay,
And when we dig down at the curb stop, if it is non-lead on the public side, we will not replace that portion. We've also been told, let's say if we bid out 50 of these things, and the $1 million doesn't cover all of the services, lead and galvanized services that you have. We can have other ones that are on our list that maybe aren't in the bidding documents, that if we have some money left over, we can use that money to cover as many as we can in the city of Pelican Rapids. So it sounds like they are gonna give us some leeway there because of the unknown situations like you just talked about.
there's so many of them.
So this is gonna be a little bit of a unique situation in that matter as well. We typically try to be very, very thorough when we prepare our bidding documents. Try to cross all of our T's, dot all of our I's. This is gonna be a different situation. We're also planning on having somebody come out for each one that we plan on replacing. That's on the private side, and hopefully meeting with the property owners, because every situation inside every home or building is gonna be different. You may have it in the basement where the meter's in an unfinished basement, it's concrete or block walls, not a big deal. The next house could have a finished basement and the meter is behind a finished wall where it may require the removal of sheetrock, carpeting, tile, so there's a lot of different situations and scenarios that we're gonna be working with here. So just please realize that. We're gonna obviously need help from city staff through this process, setting up public meetings, getting into people's homes, even coordinating getting into people's homes. How do you schedule that? So we think we've got a pretty good game plan in place. We'll find out here probably in another month, but like I said, we think we've got a good game plan in place. So
Bobby mentioned private, public. The property owner is still, if we have problems of the line, the property owner is still responsible from the meter to the water main.
Yeah.
You label it private because the private was on private property and the
Yep.
public is in the street and right away.
That's the way for when we reporting to the Department of Health, we basically label them, and that's the way they've asked us to label them, just to kind of keep them straight. But yeah, it's, like I said, it's unique here where we are going to have to, and that's mandated by the EPA, that we have to go all the way to the meter.
What do we do with the unknowns, 393 unknowns?
We're gonna continue to try to find out information on those as we move
So do you
forward.
think that $1 million, let's say we found a couple hundred more, $1 million wouldn't cover it?
Probably not. Based on the meeting that we had this morning with the Minnesota Department of Health, it sounds like next year, they do anticipate having more funding available.
So we could apply again?
Yep.
Okay.
There's actually more money coming down from the feds next year, but it sounds like, from what we were told this morning, next year is probably the last year that there's gonna be money available from the feds on this. But they are pushing the Minnesota State Legislature to allocate money beyond next year to continue this process. Because we've come this far, how do you stop in the middle without finishing?
Right.
So that's a discussion we had this morning.
You had a date of 2033 when it has to be complete. What if we can't find contractors to bid on these projects?
We haven't asked that question yet, but that's one of our concerns, and I think we're just kind of going right now year by year, to be honest with you, Mr. Mayor. Even when we ask questions to the Department of Health, and this is not by any means their fault, this was mandated by the EPA, and each government entity or authoritative agency like the Department of Health is trying to figure out how we get this done. And we're just working with those folks and trying to do the best that we can to get it done and as efficiently as we can, so.
Any other questions from the council? Any other questions? Okay, go on, Bob.
I guess the only thing that I would have this evening is, again, I think you have a task order that was hopefully included in your packet, and this is a little bit unique because, again, I've mentioned some of the unique aspects of this project. Normally, it's a 4-page task order. With this one, we did include a supplemental scope of services that kind of outlines the different services that aren't maybe normal on other projects. So it got a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but I would ask that if you wish to move forward with this process, that you would approve that task order number 11 that's before you.
Lance, do you have any comments on this?
Nope, Bob covered it well.
Okay. Ryan, anything else?
No, I've read it twice and it's all there.
So we're looking for a motion to approve this task order number 11. Correct, Bob?
Correct, yep.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Thank you. Anything else for me this evening?
Oh,
All right.
anything else for us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll go on to item number 6, library report, which is in the packet. Are we looking for a motion to approve this or not? We don't have to. Okay. Any questions on the library report that city staff could answer? If not, we'll move on to the bullet point there. It's missing pieces and mimosas. It says 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., February 21st, 2026, at the library. And our EDA Director, Jordan Grossmans, is online to speak to this. Jordan? Good evening.
Good evening. I want to double check everybody can hear me okay?
Yes. You're good.
Okay, good deal. I've been chatting with Marie as well as Malin Brueggemann, who is a part of Friends of the Library. They're looking to host an event at the library on February 21st from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Mimosa, or missing pieces and mimosas. So it's a puzzle, a competitive puzzle event. Teams get together and put some puzzles together, and then they would also have the opportunity to have a mimosa and some food at the library. Malin has worked with Danielle, the city clerk, to make sure all paperwork is in order. The mimosas would be coming from Spanky's, so it would be a catered event. So looking for city council approval to have that event in February. And then I guess I'll leave it open if Danielle has anything else to add that I might have missed.
No, we just want to have council approval since it is technically in a city building and get council approval to have it there, so.
Any questions from the council? If there are no questions, is there a motion to approve this request?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, Jordan. Is that all on that item?
Yes.
Okay. We'll go on to item number 7, Sharon Park discussion, and Jordan's also going to talk to that regarding the bathhouse. Jordan?
I will also lean on Lance for this one, but a little background. As you know, or maybe don't, we applied for an outdoor recreation grant through the DNR last year. This is a grant program that's funded a few things in Pelican Rapids in the past. We did not have a successful grant application, but do intend to apply again this funding cycle. The application is open right now until mid-March, and we have schematics like the one that you can see on the screen. So not a lot of extra costs will be associated with that grant application, but Lance and I have been having some discussion as to where the city match is going to come from. I don't have numbers yet for what that total will be, but whether the grant application, to be if you'll allow it in future meetings when I officially ask, is successful or not. We've been looking at budgeted dollars or previous dollars and found some money available from previous pool funds that we would like for you to approve to be transferred over to the Sharon Park bathhouse remodel reconstruction. I'll open it up to Lance here to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, on the screen here, I just have the investment schedule, and we have 4 accounts there that are already earmarked for the bathhouse, and they come to $276,000 roughly. And in that 5th one down there, it's marked swimming pool. So several years ago, the council approved just setting aside some of the general fund money to the swimming pool when they started talking about the new swimming pool. And in that account, there's about $200,000 right now. So what we were thinking, since the original plan for the pool was to include a new bathhouse, and in the attempts to reduce the price and all that, that got cut out and it got moved and all that. So now we're stuck with our old bathhouse still. We're just thinking using that fund to help for our matching funds for this grant would be a worthwhile deal to use those funds for that. So, and if we did that, we'd get up into that $475,000 range, which should be enough to match if we get this grant, so, or the matching funds needed. So we would just want to kind of earmark those funds for the bathhouse as well, is kind of what we're looking for. Any questions?
So what would your motion state?
Just using that account for the bathhouse. I mean, earmarking those funds for the bathhouse, Sharon Park upgrade.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Discussion? Discussion?
Are they gonna leave the rocks in the wall? What are they gonna do?
First hurdle, I suppose, is getting the grant.
Well, that's just plenty.
Yeah, I could just touch on it quickly. As far as updating the bathhouse from previous conversations last year when we were applying for the same grant program, it was a full demo and remodel. That would be the intended plan moving forward, is a full demo and new build, better than remodel, a full demo and new build for a bathhouse. I do think that there would be a way to preserve a few of the characteristics that are currently there that matter. So I don't necessarily have a plan, but hopefully there'd be some preservation involved. Councilmember Strand.
That doesn't sound so good.
Good question. Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, Jordan. Item number 8, CETA staff. Katie, would you please come forward? At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jordan to introduce the new CETA employee here in Pelican Rapids. Jordan?
Well, I'm very excited about this. I've been, unfortunately, pretty busy with the promotion I've received within CETA, which has caused me to be in places like I am today, way away from you and hours away, which has in the past impacted the amount of in-person days that Pelican Rapids has received. In order to try to fix that, along with the city's further investment in our partnership to 4 days a week, I've worked in the last few months to hire Katie, who will be assisting me in Pelican Rapids, among other communities, with economic development, planning and zoning, and grant writing. So I'm thrilled to virtually introduce you to Katie, who's in the room, and hoping Katie can just give you a little bit of background on who she is, and you can give her a warm welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me this evening. My name is Katie Gehring. I am just a neighbor to the north of you in the Cormorant area, so visited many times to Pelican Rapids. Thrilled to be working in the city with the staff and the council, the businesses, and your residents. I have a background in nonprofit work, so hopefully we'll bring some useful grant writing, fundraising, special events, some operational and logistical support as well. And so Jordan and I will be here 4 days a week and excited to work on projects together.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's put Katie on the spot. Any questions to Katie?
Fire away.
Tell us about your nonprofit work you did.
So the nonprofit I worked at in Fargo is called Hope Blooms. I have a background in horticulture, so I come from being a florist, and I was hired as the first full-time employee at Hope Blooms, which is a nonprofit that repurposes flowers, so kind of built on sustainability. So after a funeral, a wedding, maybe a big event in town, those flowers are then upcycled into a bouquet that's taken to senior communities, partnering with other nonprofits that support, vulnerable populations. So that is how I got here in a roundabout way.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard. Thank you, Katie. And thank you, Jordan. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Moving on to item number 9, Street and Park Report, Superintendent Brian Olson.
Can't follow that very well, I know that. But pretty simple report again. It seems like I haven't been here for a long time, but
It's been a while.
it's still talking about the same things. Plowing snow, it's that time of the year. We've done a lot of it. And with snow comes maintenance, comes moving piles, comes snowbirds, so it's not just we plow snow and we're done with that snowstorm. It's continuous. Also with the nice weather, we're scraping streets. And yes, I'm aware some of them are very rough, but that's what we get here, I guess. Aggies did move snow downtown twice, which was very nice. They can do it rapidly compared to what we have for equipment would take us most of the week to get it done. So
There's
it's
a
nice.
median in the middle. Is that slowed things down?
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. So, along with plowing, you start having maintenance on your vehicles. You change cutting edges, brooms, bristles, all kinds of things. And the one thing we have noticed is the extended sidewalks we clean. It's not just, now we used to just do the city portions, even if we had less than 2 inches of snow. Well, we're trying not to do all downtown, but it ends up that way because there's so much more that we're out doing. So when we do get an inch or an inch and a half snow, we just take the skid steer with the broom and just kind of run over everything, and it seemed to work, but it does take time. I mean, there's a lot more sidewalk than what we used to have here. So, been continuing to flood the skating rink for the school as time and weather permits, and that is, they say people are using it, so I guess it's not in vain that we're flooding it up there, so that's good. Parks are really quiet now, especially after Peteyville's gone, but on our end, more maintenance. Got picnic tables to paint, to replace boards on, so we've got, I believe there's close to 13 of them that we have up at the shop that need to be painted or replace boards on, so that's been what we've been up to. So that is what I have for you. Any questions?
Any questions for Brian? If not, is there a motion to accept the street and park report?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
Item number 10 is election of acting mayor, which we do each year, and currently Mr. Steve Strands serves as acting mayor.
Nominate Kurt.
And I in turn nominate Steve. He's done a wonderful job.
Okay.
Any other nominations?
Well, there's already two, so we better stick with it.
Huh?
These two are good.
We can do it together then, or what?
Flip a coin?
Well, I say tie goes to the runner, which is Steve.
You've never been gone.
Myself?
No, like the mayor, I mean, like.
You want me not to be here next meeting?
It's an easy job for you.
So who would like it? Steve?
That's
Steve, will you accept it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a nomination for Steve Strand.
Okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you, Steve. Congratulations. Item number 11, authorized credit card policy discussion. Danielle.
Yes. So in the past, our policy was that all department heads had $1,000 on their credit cards. And what did I say?
Some years ago.
Yeah, it was put in place in 2005. And we have found in the last 20 years that $1,000 isn't getting us very far anymore. And so I only actually talked to Brian, but we talked about upping it to $2,000 for this year and to see how that goes. So upping all the department heads up to $2,000 limit this year. For the department heads, everything else still stays in place where anything over $1,000 Lance approves. They have to have a PO in 24 hours after purchase of a credit card purchase.
We tried.
And they try to follow that rule. Any questions?
Is this usually for purchase of material things?
Some's equipment, like I know you bought some different equipment.
I had this
Yeah.
year alone, I had equipment issues that we were purchasing. We had training issues that very well could land in the same month. I mean, it's not that one thing,
Right.
but I mean, most of the trainings that I'll send an officer to, a lot of them are in that $400 to $500 range, and then you're gonna throw a couple nights hotel on top of it. So even if there's nothing else that month, I think I had to go ask Mom for a credit card several times this year.
That
That's
would
no
be
joke,
my
you know.
question, is is 2,000 enough? I mean, have you experienced where it isn't? I mean,
I think it's a good starting point, and we'll find out. I mean, it works. I mean,
Yeah,
when it's a problem,
and we can always come back and ask.
Yeah, I think it's a good starting point.
But it's better than being denied.
Yeah.
Because that's embarrassing.
right.
You're talking 2,000 a month?
Well, I actually pay the credit card off every single, council meeting. It's just when the payment actually gets there, so it just maxes out at 2,000. They can only pay.
It's the credit limit on the card.
Yeah, it's just credit limit on the card.
Okay, so,
So it's just whatever's sitting on the card at that time, but.
So you're looking for a motion to increase that limit from $1,000 to $2,000. Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion second. Discussion?
How many
Discussion?
cards are out? Like,
All the department heads have one, so, Brian, Todd, Marie, Shad, me, and Lance,
Maggie.
and Maggie. And Lance and I have a higher limit on ours, so,
That's why we go to 10.
yeah, they.
Well, that's what I meant too, you know, I'd keep an eye on it because, let's face it, today, $2,000 ain't a lot of money.
No, I know.
No, I was shocked
So-
when I saw that it had been 20 years ago that this policy had
Wow.
been put into place.
That was a lot of money then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really high for 20 years ago.
And we haven't had an opportunity to find out that 2,000 isn't enough.
Right, but if you
Right.
should, I'd say come back because I would understand from the get-go.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
that's not the credit limit on the card, is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
that's why Brian said, like, it's embarrassing to get declined.
Because if I use it and then it doesn't get, that same month hasn't been paid yet, sorry, they send you a nasty gram and.
And probably charge you some extra fees.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 12, 2026, appointment of boards and authorities discussion. That was in our packet. Danielle's looking for a motion to approve this. Correct?
Unless anybody wants to change anything, but like as far as portfolios. But we don't do a whole lot of stuff with the portfolios anyways.
Anyone see any need to change anything on that?
The only thing I noticed is on the one for the city, that sheet.
Okay, we're
Oh,
just,
yes.
we're just
Yep.
on
Yep.
this, okay.
But the portfolio
Yeah,
is
we're
mixed
gonna-
up.
Yeah, we're gonna go over that. Yeah,
Okay.
good point.
Yep.
Everybody still okay with their portfolios?
You have storm drains?
I do.
Okay.
So is there a motion to approve the 2026 appointment to boards and authorities?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion second, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 13, 2026 City Service Manual discussion, which is in the packet. Shelley, do you want to speak to that, please? You saw the changes?
Yeah, that was the only thing that I noticed on the city council members for the portfolio, that Don's and mine, the names are transposed.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't look this one over very well, and Lance.
You'll change that?
pointed out some other errors too, so.
I think, and Lance had a couple, 3 items.
Yeah, we just changed this word to issues. It said problems before, we just changed it to issues. It seems a little more fitting. And then this number I changed to the current number. That was the old number, and then Kurt was left out on the members of the EDA here, so I just added that.
You didn't mind?
No. That's been a grueling task, by the way.
Anyone see any need to change anything else? If not, is there a motion to approve the 2026 City Service Manual with the changes recommended this evening?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 14 is 2026 city fee schedule discussion, and that was in our packet also. Danielle is going to speak to that.
I am. So the only thing that changed is the fingerprinting fee, and it really isn't a change. It just, everybody was charging $25. It just only said $20 on the sheet of paper, so we just made a change on paper.
Anyway, I'll see a need for any changes. Anyone else?
Can you tell me what the physically disabled parking fee is about?
I assume that that's one of your parking tickets?
Those are, that is on the fine schedule. So maybe, I don't really look to see how it's actually the other lines here. So.
Yeah, because I assume that that's one of your ticket fees, and we just have it written down in case if somebody comes in to pay it, we know what it is.
I just assumed it was somebody parking in a disabled spot that isn't authorized.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't have a permit or a placard or a license plate. That's what I assumed, I guess.
Right. I assume that's what it is. I mean, that would make sense. It's a significantly different dollar amount, it's a significantly different dollar amount than state statute, so.
That's only on city property then? Or,
Nope.
Well, that covers.
You're right.
okay. So like my parking lot with the disabled, they would get a ticket or they wouldn't? Or how does that work?
So, most private lots, let me back up. Private parking lots, we don't enforce parking except for fire lane and handicap. So we would issue a city ticket on private property in that situation.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah, good question.
It does get abused a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I can think of a couple other places in town that is quite frequently filled and they aren't disabled or permitted, so. But that's what I assumed that fee was. And I think on the signs on private property, oftentimes, if there's a sign, it'll say $200 or something.
$250 is.
$250.
And that's typically what state statute's going to impose.
Right.
So this allows for a lesser, more affordable consequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion to accept the 2026 city fee schedule as printed?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion? 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 Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 15, set time, place, and date of regular city council meeting. At this time, this past year, we've been meeting at 6 p.m. City Council chambers, the second and last Tuesdays of the month. Anyone see a need to change or leave it as is?
Well, I appreciate it to being at 6, but if for some reason I had someone that would come and work for me, I wouldn't mind going back to 4:30, but I can't foresee that right now.
Okay. So is there a motion to set the time at 6 PM at City Council Chambers, second and last Tuesday?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 16, Source One Organic Commission Agreement. And that was in your packet, and Lance is going to speak to that.
All right, so this is an agreement with Robert Nolf of Source One Organics. He is the one who got us set up with leachate with Clay County. We now added waste management for some leachate coming into town. We are really not in position to be out looking for any more leachate from anybody. So from day one with the leachate, Robert Nolf, he got us connected with Clay County, and he takes a cut out of every load that comes in for his service, which is $59.85 a load. And there really was no agreement, technical written agreement with him, so it was just kind of going to go on for perpetuity, which we did not want. So now this agreement, basically, it's going to set that price. We'll leave it at that. We're charging more basically each year to cover our costs for the leachate, but his fee is staying the same. And it puts an end date on this agreement to December 31st of 2027. So once that is complete, he's out of the picture then, and we're dealing with the leachate on our own. So that's basically what this does, is sets that end date, and it changes nothing as what's happened in the last 2 years. It's just going to continue that for the next 2, and then there's an end date. So that's what this agreement does.
I think the main concern beforehand was that there was no end date to this, and it was indefinite, so we wanted to see a date on that. Any questions for Lance? If not, is there a motion to approve this agreement?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 17, Houston Engineering invoice, which is in your packet, and Lance is going to speak to this also.
Yes, this is another Houston Engineering for the Rock Rapids project for $15,632.35. Exactly like all the others we've had in the last several council meetings. It's for their services for that Rock Rapids project, and we will submit this to the DNR for reimbursement. So.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion is second, discussion, discussion, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Item number 18, City Administrator Report. Lance.
Since the last meeting, met with Brent and Shelley and completed my performance evaluation, attended an EDC Department Head and Ordinance Committee meeting, attended an introductory meeting with the new city attorney from Kennedy and Graven, completed the first reimbursement request for the MDH PFAS grant. Todd, Brian, and I met with the horse parade representatives about planning for next year's horse parade and things we could do better. Worked with Bob from Apex on the lead service line replacement program. Continued to work with Deed on the contractor on the requirements for the final reimbursement for the pool grant. Worked with Otter Tail Power and completed the POP solar rebate for the liquor store project. Met with Heather from Otter Tail Lakes Country Magazine for their article about the pool. Sent in the first reimbursement request to MnDOT for their share of the downtown snow removal costs, which were incurred in November and December. Worked with Robert Nolf and completed the final draft of the agreement between the city and Source One Organics. Reviewed the shoreland management ordinance in Chapter 9 of the city code. Recorded the Pelican Ridge Estates final plat, and then received the final abstract from West Central Abstracting, and we're currently waiting on the final title opinion for Pelican Ridge Estates. Met with the landowner and discussed a possible annexation of a parcel bordering city limits, and then worked on reimbursement requests for the airport A&D building and gas pump upgrade project. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. Item number 19, Mayor Report. Just a few items in the last month. Attended a Zoom meeting with the new city attorneys, which Lance spoke to here just a minute ago. Also Councilwoman Gumringer and I took part in the annual job evaluation of Lance. 19th December, conversations with the mayor at the library. On January 8th, there was a physical therapy ribbon-cutting ceremony at Sanford Health, and Councilman Strand and I were up for that. And yesterday, met with Administrator Roysum to plan the agenda for this afternoon city council meeting. Any questions?
Thank you.
Seeing no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Well, that was faster than I thought.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be a lot longer, reading through all this.
All this stuff, yeah.
It's like 37 pages, so like, oh, God.